coming back from a hangover, but I was watching Asmongold, and he uh, he was talking about the Emiru assault, and there's some things I would like to say about this stuff because it's the world is getting so disconnected from like reality and like it's like when you ask somebody like, what would you do if you went outside your door and there was three wolves sitting there, and they go, what are you talking about? It's like, well, what would you do? Right? Because people don't want to think about that kind of stuff. They don't want to think about the reality of how cruel and crazy and harsh their actual world is. Like if you didn't have society, if you didn't have buildings, if you didn't have all this, and you had to survive out in the woods, humans are we are so on the bottom of the food chain when we don't have the tools and stuff that we use to survive. We're so low on the food chain. It's ridiculous, right? And people just keep forgetting that, um, you know, a lot of times, like if you go in the woods, it's people are scarier than animals most of the time, right? Like when you go if you're gonna go camping in the woods or something like that, I'm always more worried about other human beings than I am of animals. Unless I was in a place with like cougars and bears, obviously I'd be more afraid of those. But for the most part, animals keep to themselves and stuff like that. Um, so my point with this is that the Twitch era and the Twitch platform and all this, it has created this, and everybody said this already. It's created this parasitic, symbiotic relationship with between human beings that aren't. I would say a lot of people aren't mentally stable or they aren't mentally mature, and I feel like, oh, how do I say this? I feel like mm, I feel like uh I feel like it's a platform that needs to go. I think these are not good for society. I think they are I think they are very again, they're parasitic, right? So I think they are horrible for our society. And they're horrible for the people on both sides, right? You got streamers that, you know, girlfriend talk to people they never met before, telling them they love them and all this other stuff. It's one thing to thank the people that are watching you for the money and watching and all that stuff, but it's another to be like just talk to people like you're in a relationship when you've never even met these people, and you're doing it to gain money from people, right? It's not genuine. There's no way it's genuine. Saying that you love what you do and that you appreciate the people and stuff, that's always genuine, right? And I'm not saying that this is Emiru. I'm not saying any of that, right? I'm trying to say is that this is happening because of that, right? And like Asmund said, th- this is not the first time it's happened. It's happened many times, and my one of my pet peeves with this whole fucking thing is that how are all these streamers, Twitch streamers, going to these events? There's no cops. There's no real security, right? And they know that they are subjected or subject to interfacing with real life people that can do whatever they want at any time. That means people can come in with guns, they can come in with knives, they can come in with weapons, they can just, or they can just physically assault you, right? I think it's naive to think that you should be going to these things without like four bodyguards. I mean, Asman even said it. He said it a long time ago. He said, "I don't think women should be going to these Twitch cons," and I don't think the guys should be either because the guys get assaulted by other guys, and they could get assaulted by women too. And that might sound like it's fine, but it's not. Getting assaulted either way is being assaulted. Um, what kills me about this too is like the guard for Emiru was behind the fucking whatever the fuck that is back there. Um, he was he was back here, right behind this board or whatever the hell it is. I get that they are trying to like give her space so that she could do her thing. But if you are an actual security guard, you should be right next to Emiru the whole time. That how could you be how could you be how could you be a bodyguard, if you're not actually next to the person? Because if he had actually been next to her that whole time, the guy would have thought twice about doing it, right? He wouldn't have just ran over there, did that. If the guard was right there, he might have thought for 2 seconds about doing it first. And if the guard would have been right there, as soon as he reached out and all that, he could have put his hand up like, "Hey, whoa, whoa, slow down, slow down." You know, I mean, I don't even get how there's not like a little poster sign thing that's up that says, "This is how you will act. This is what you will do. You will approach." Blah 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 blah. Right. That way you have control of the situation versus just people being nonchalant and all that other shit. I would have two guards for her. I would have one next to her and then one off to the side to keep that from happening where the guy came across, because the other guard should be looking for just, he should be looking at people in the crowd. He should be looking at people across. He should be looking for anything that's disturbing or not normal behavior, right? That way he could point it out to the other guard, say, "Hey, look, there's a guy over here. He's acting really fucking weird. Let's keep an eye on that guy," right? And also, you need two guards anyway, because if one of them has to go to the bathroom, then who's there to protect the person that's supposed to be guarded, right? I mean, it's just in my mind, it's all common sense, and you can't tell me that that this guy or the other person that was there are guards or not. There's no way. This guy is just some normal guy that's working with her or whatever, right? So, um, the other thing that's crazy is that TwitchCon, they don't have cops there. That guy that assaulted Emiru should immediately have been put in handcuffs by an actual officer of the law, and then she should have pressed charges against him for the assault, and he should have gone to jail for a little bit and then gotten out. How are you supposed to fix and stop uh, societal behaviors that are not okay, that are against the law, if you don't enforce those laws and stuff? And what's crazier is that he could have still been arrested afterwards. Like, I'm sure if they would have put the word out, like, "Hey, who is this guy?" Somebody would eventually be like, "Oh, that's blah blah blah," right? And then they would have got the cops on him later anyway, right? He would have had to show up to court, and maybe Emery wouldn't want to go through all that, but it doesn't matter, because the problem with that is the what is it? It's the the distribution of responsibility. It's the whole thing where the girl's getting attacked or raped, and there's like a group of people there, and everybody's telling each other to call the cops, but nobody calls the cops, right? And if and I'm not saying that that's what happened here. What I'm saying is that if Emeru doesn't get this guy arrested, she doesn't file charges against this guy. She's just giving that guy the more reasoning to do this again to somebody else or something, maybe, right? And I'm not trying to put that on Emeru. I'm not trying to say that, oh, she's a bad person or anything like that. I'm just saying that when you don't fucking put people in their place, or use the laws our society is built around to uh punish people for doing societal um wrongs, right? then then nothing changes, right? It's ridiculous, right? You have to do something about these types of things. I would always do that. Like, if I caught somebody vandalizing my truck or something like that, I would fucking have them arrested and file charges and go through the court process. Is it a pain in the ass? Does it suck? Does it take time out of your day? Does it take time away from? Yeah, man, it does. It's horrible to have to go through that. It's just like getting into a car accident, right? You still got to fucking get the insurance companies involved. You still got to go through all that shit, right? And it's such a huge pain in the ass to do all that, right? Um, but we have to put these people in check, right? And that's the way to do it, is through our societal laws, you know. I just it's even crazier that Twitch does not. Here's the other thing, and this is the other thing I wanted to say too, is that everybody's talking about, like, the standards at Twitch and how they just let all this shit happen. Twitch does not give a fuck about anybody on the Twitch platform. You are a number, you are money signs. You are not a human being. You're nothing. They do not give a fuck, right? And that's how it is in most places you go to, right? If and you have to and to play devil's advocate, you have to think about it. Like if you ran your own company, right, and you had a million fucking employees, would you would you be friends with all of them? Would you be, you know what I mean? It's part. It's like the nature of the beast, right? It's the nature of the beast. Do you have to treat every fucking person that you have under your company like they're just a fucking dollar sign? No, you don't have to. You can actually give a shit and do things properly and set up things properly and like maybe get an outside opinion from somebody who knows security and get them to implement security in the Twitch cons and have it done properly. You're gonna spend some money, but you're gonna make a shit ton of money on the Twitch cons anyway. The safety of the human beings that are at that place should be the top priority. All of them. That means the individuals that are there to see the streamers, the people that are just there to have fun, whatever. That should always be the top priority for all these conventions and stuff like that. That should always be the number one priority. But it's not. And the reason it's not is because of money. They don't care. This is just a check in the box for Twitch to say, hey, look, we gave you a TwitchCon so you can go see your favorite fucking streamers. You can talk to them, you can meet them, right? You can assault them, right? uh, but um, that's all it is. It's just a check in the box. They don't give a fuck. They're not doing this out of their own kindness of their heart. Everything these companies do is based on money. It's based on those kind of decisions on what's going to make them look good, what's going to make them more money, yada yada yada, right? So, and that's my point with this is that I learned a long time ago that you cannot go into a company or a job or anything and think anybody is your friend or because they will your supervisor will turn on you when they need to. The people around you will turn on your coworkers will turn on you when they need to. Most people do not use honor and integrity as part of their living, as part of their being. You know what I mean? If a company wants to try to get you for something and they got to go through your coworkers, most of those coworkers are going to cave, right? Because they're going to say something like, "Well, if you don't help us with this, then we might have to start looking into you or something stupid," right? And the coworker's just going to cave instead of having honor and integrity and saying, "No, I'm not going to do that. That person didn't do anything wrong, yada yada." And it's happened my whole life, right? Um, it's insane that people even think that Twitch is any good at any of this, like any sort of uh, I'm sorry, the hangover, the any kind of level of morality is there. It's not. They've already proven it. Asman said it 1,000 times already. It's beating a goddamn dead horse at this fucking point about um um like Hassan with his terrorist stuff and these other people that do this shit and they don't get banned, they don't get deplatformed. It's absolute fucking insanity, again, it's about this company doing what it wants to do. And the worst part is that instead of everybody deplatforming themselves off of it to get away from all that by seeing that and having the integrity and honor to say, hey, we all as in mass do not agree with this, so we're all leaving your platform. Your platform's gonna die now. Um, Everybody sticks to it because it's money. You're making money. You're making money, and people stick to it because their favorite people are on it still, right? It would take every single one of the massive, like top 50 streamers, top 100 streamers to leave Twitch for it to start to die, right? Because it's already there, like it's already kind of there, but if they left en masse together at the exact same time, maybe things would change. That's the only way to make change in these kind of companies, right? You have to show them, and even then, even if you did that and they said, "Oh, we're gonna change, come back," and they might change for a little bit, they might do a little this and that, but eventually they go back to their old ways and yada yada yada, right? So, um, so yeah, I guess the takeaways from this is the guard, her bodyguard's horrible. She needs to fire him and get a new one. She needs to have two bodyguards at least, maybe even three. At this point, four. Just don't go to Twitch cons anymore. Just fucking don't. Just don't meet and greet people. They've already proven that they can't be trusted, so why fucking go anymore? You know what I mean? It's bad enough when you're on the street by yourself. I mean, I can only imagine being someone who's like an actor or somebody and you're just trying to go throughout your day, you're just trying to like go have food or go shopping or something, and you got 100 people that day coming up to you going, "Oh my god, I love you so much. You're awesome. Can I get a picture with you, or can I get a sign?" And you don't know, out of those 100 people, how many percent of those people are crazy or want to hurt you, or have unstable feelings for you that aren't realistic, that might make them do some bad shit to you, or assault you, that type of thing. And Twitch streamers, they're not as bad as actors because they're not known, around the world like a famous actor is, but they're known enough that I would say they probably get talked to on a semi frequent. Like they might go out every day a week, and they might get one person to say, "Hey, I love your shit, man. Cool." It was my assumption. That's my assumption. I don't know. Asmund could probably um, he could probably give more information on that, on what the actual numbers are, like how often people run into him or like, "Hey, Asmund, how's it going?" When he's out. But because Asmund's one of the biggest ones besides XQC and Kai sent, um, but yeah. This it's gross to see that. It's gross to see the guy. And I had heard that the guy had licked her face or something, but I guess he didn't do that. I guess he just tried to go in for a kiss, and she kind of pushed him off. And thankfully, he uh he didn't fucking get aggressive with her and actually force himself on her like he could have. So that there's oh man, thank for that, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. The world has gotten soft. The world has gotten complacent, and well, society's gotten soft. Society's gotten complacent. Society has gotten off our American values. We're not on our American values anymore of holding individuals accountable for their actions, for protecting the people, for upholding our societal standards and doing what's right for the people within it. I feel like we're at the beginning of the ending of an empire type thing, because there was some stuff like the Roman Empire. They were saying, like, history books were saying, like, one of the things before the fall was like people were started using slang and some other shit. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but there were like signs, and that was kind of like, those signs are always there before the fall, right? I don't know how America would fall though. We're so big. We're almost too big to fail at this point, um, as a society and as a nation. Um, but you never know, right? It's always possible. um, yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say about this. It's Every person in the United States has the right to go wherever the fuck they want to go, do what the fuck they want to do, as long as they don't hurt anybody or damage any property, right? That's supposed to be our societal standard. No matter how you look at this, no matter if you say her parasitic relationship with her viewers could have caused this, whatever, you can't, it doesn't fucking matter. No matter where you go in the United States, you have the right to do what you're doing, and not be assaulted, attacked, or anything like that while you're doing it, right? That is a core fundamental thing in our country, and we have to uphold it as a society, and we have to uphold it as individuals, right? This whole blaming, like trying to figure out blaming everything else other than the individual, that the Democrats do and stuff like that, that shit's got to stop, man. We have got to stop doing that, because you're just making excuses for people's bad behavior at this point, right? So I hope I hope mentally she can get past this. I hope mentally she can, not have nightmares about this. Some people are really fragile these days, and I feel like some people just can't take, can't something like that. To me, something like that, something happened to me like that, I would just brush it off. It wouldn't bother me. Um, if they actually assaulted me, yeah, I would, like I said, I would call the cops, have them arrested, go through the whole thing, get a restraining order probably. But still, it wouldn't like bother me like that, because I'm an Iraq war vet. So, we're crazy. So, but for her, she's an innocent person, and it probably has scarred her a little bit. So it's like Asmund said, she's fine physically, but mentally, who knows, right? So, um, so yeah, yeah. This is the crazy stuff that is happening nowadays, and Twitch basically gave a platform for it to happen, right? Because they aren't using proper security, they're not using proper security functions or strategies or um, you know, safekeeping. You know, it's yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I am hungover right now. But anybody that watches this, feel free to put your comments down below on YouTube. I'm on Twitch right now just because this is how I upload my videos to YouTube because I don't edit videos and I don't have an editor. So, um, but put your comments down below in the YouTube video if you watch this. What do you think about the things I've said? If you agree, if you disagree, give it a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing. Don't subscribe. I don't really give a shit. But yeah, I hope. That was crazy too. Is he said that the NMP and the other guy got assaulted too. Um, it just goes to show, like, you always think, society thinks that women get assaulted more than men, and they don't. It's crazy that men get assaulted more than women do, and it's normally by other men. It's fucking stupid, man. Oh my god. Ah, yeah. All right. Well, leave your messages after the beep.